It stands 12 feet tall, with razor-sharp claws. His hide littered with the weapons of fallen warriors. His face scarred with one dead eye. I drew my sword and...
Hold on, let's rewind for a moment. There it is. This, my friends, is exactly why we're all here today, Mordu. If you clicked on this video because of the thumbnail, you already know I'm making a bear, but not just any bear. This is the beast that haunted Ireland, a legendary figure you probably grew up hearing about. To keep it simple, he's a cursed human prince turned into a monstrous enchanted bear and the sworn enemy of King Fergus. If you have no clue who I'm talking about, I gotta ask, have you been living under a rock? So, let's dive into this story, because it's one wild ride. When I was a kid, I used to hide behind the couch every time Mordu appeared on the screen. That bear scared me out of my mind. With Halloween here, I figured there's no better time to channel that fear into something fun, like a terrifying, monstrous bear for the occasion. To kick things off, I'll craft a realistic bear's head entirely out of paper. I'll start with the teeth, then move on to the mouth, eyes, ears, bringing the whole head together piece by piece. Once the head is complete, I'll add the final touch, a tongue to bring it all together. Granted, you're probably watching this after Halloween has come and gone, so sorry about that. But hey, who says spooky season has to end on October 31st? With my spooky, ferocious beast now officially christened Momo, because let's face it, the alternative Dudu was not going to fly, I get to work on building up its body. First up, the abdominals. That's what they're called, right? I mean, I wouldn't know. I'm not a bear. Anyway, I craft the abs, each one carefully sculpted. Moving upward, I layer 2 large pieces of paper for the chest, molding them into a broad form. Then I turn my attention to the neck, folding and shaping until it brims with intricate layers of muscle-like creases. But Momo isn't just about the front. The back demands just as much love. I start adding those massive neck and back muscles, giving my beast an almost terrifyingly majestic presence. Every fold, every curve is deliberate, making sure Momo looks like a creature that could step out of a nightmare. Once that's finished, it's time for some tape magic. I'll grab more paper, cover it in tape, and get to work. First up, poking 2 neat little holes into Momo for the hands to slide through. With the power of creativity, and maybe a bit of editing, I'll whip up more tape-covered paper to build the upper arm muscles. Bit by bit, I'll shape and layer them until everything starts looking just right. And then, with a quick dance, the whole masterpiece gets wrapped and polished in tape, seamlessly. To finish off the arm, I start adding more muscle to the side to create the shoulders, carefully blending them in so they all look natural. Once that's in place, I move on to shaping the forearm. I wrap the area with strips of paper, making sure each layer is smooth and secure. As I go, the forearm starts to take perfect shape, coming together flawlessly with each addition. Creating his massive paws is where the real fun begins. First, I start by attaching 2 paw-shaped pieces to his forearms, carefully crafting the foundation of those beastly hands. Next, I stick on 2 paper balls at the wrist to serve as the joints. Simple, but effective. Once everything's in place, I wrap it all up with tape to give it structure and hold it together. Now comes the fingers. Each one is glued on with precision, and when they're fully taped, I carefully cut into them to add that lifelike, clawed look. It's a small detail, but it makes all the difference. Now for the legs. To make the upper legs, I cover pieces of paper with tape, layering them until they're sturdy and ready for more details. I know my process can seem a bit chaotic, but trust me, it all comes together in the end. Random scraps of paper are added to build out the leg's shape and muscles, each piece adding depth and character. Once I'm satisfied, I smooth everything out with a quick round of tape to conceal the seams and give it a polished look. Then I move to the lower legs. These are where things start to take on their final form. I glue them onto the upper legs, attaching the knee joints and shaping the calves. For the muscles, I improvise. Random chunks of paper stand in for the ones I don't know the proper names of. But hey, who's going to fact-check a paper monster's anatomy, right? To finish up, I add on his feet, and there you have it. By the end, the legs have this rough, yet oddly realistic look, and you can almost imagine them stomping around. After staring at Momo for what felt like forever, I came to a tough decision. His body had to go. I know it sounds drastic, but hear me out. He was starting to look more like a clumsy bear in a human costume than an actual bear. And let's be real, when you're aiming for a majestic bear, you can't settle for bear in a human suit. The truth is, I don't really know how to make a convincing bear standing on 2 feet. Yeah, it's a skill issue, I'll admit it. So instead of wrestling with a losing battle, I decided to take a different approach. Bring Momo down to all fours. It's a bold move, but one that could save him. A bear on all fours just feels more natural, doesn't it? More powerful, more bear-like. I can already picture him, prowling low to the ground, his massive paws digging into the earth. It's going to take some reworking, his proportions, his stance, everything, but I'm ready for the challenge. Sometimes you've got to break a few things to make something truly great. Sorry, Momo, but this is for the greater good. Let's get to work. Don't worry, I'm not about to put you to sleep with the same old repetitive narration. No, I've got something far better planned. A story. Yep, I'm about to bore you with something much more interesting. So, grab your popcorn, find a cozy spot and settle in. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Ready? Let's begin. Brave is the story of Merida, a fiery-haired Scottish princess with a heart full of adventure and a love for freedom. She's not your typical princess. She prefers the whoosh of arrows over the swish of gowns and would rather explore the rugged highlands than follow royal traditions. But when her mother, Queen Eleanor, insists that Merida must marry one of the suitors from neighboring clans to maintain peace, Merida rebels in a big way. Fueled by frustration, she seeks a solution in the dark woods and stumbles upon a mysterious witch. Desperate to change her fate, Merida makes a reckless wish, asking for her mother to change. What follows, however, is not at all what she expects. Queen Eleanor is transformed, quite literally, into a bear. Yes, a bear. Now you're probably wondering where the bear comes in. Well, Mordu is the terrifying bear that haunts the world of Brave. But he's more than just a monster. He's a tragic warning wrapped in fur and claws. Once, he was a prince, consumed by ambition, so desperate for power that he turned to magic for strength. But the spell backfired, transforming him into a savage beast, and he's been roaming the forests ever since, a living cautionary tale. In the story, Mordu isn't just there to scare Merida, though he does that well. He represents what happens when selfishness takes over, when pride blinds you to the people who matter most. His fate serves as a dark reflection of Merida's journey, showing her the danger of letting stubbornness and anger destroy family bonds. By the time he's defeated, it's not just a victory over a monster. It's a moment of release, a reminder that the past can haunt, but choices made now can shape a better future. Okay, back to the red-haired Scottish princess. After turning her mother into a bear, suddenly Merida's world is turned upside down as she races to undo the spell and mend the bond she unknowingly tore between her and her mother. Along the way, they face perilous challenges, hilarious misadventures, and heartwarming moments that remind them both of the strength of family. It's a tale of bravery, love, and finding your own path, all wrapped up in stunning landscapes and rich Scottish lore. And let's not forget, there's plenty of archery, magic, and a wild trio of mischievous younger brothers to keep things fun. Oh no, I got carried away with the story. Let's get back to the narration and finish this masterpiece. With his body painted in deep black tones, blended with lighter shades that verge on grey, Momo is finally starting to come to life. The claws get their first layer of white paint, followed by a delicate wet brush technique with a dab of grey, just enough to give them that weathered, bone-like look. A quick sponge to wipe away the excess, and they look sharp enough to make you flinch. The nose, a simple, smooth coat of black does the trick. The mouth, that's where I let loose, dabbling in various mouthy colors to make it look raw and real. His teeth are treated to a run of bright white paint, giving them a gleaming, ferocious edge. And his right eye, one careful stroke of black, hinting at a glint of life behind the monstrous form. But here's where the magic really happens, my secret weapon. See, paper is a wonderful medium, but crafting realistic fur? That's a whole different beast. One that takes far more time than I'm willing to sacrifice. Life's too short for that kind of madness. With a generous coat of PVA glue on all the right spots, it's time to bring out the big guns, my trusty fur-laying machine. Let me tell you, this part is not for the faint of heart. The process is gloriously messy. Fur gets everywhere, and if you're ever brave enough to try it yourself, you'd better come armed with patience and a solid cleanup plan. But oh, the results, worth every rogue strand. Now onto the finishing touch, a proper base for him to stand on. First, I grab some aluminum foil, crumpling and shaping it to give that rough, uneven texture of natural terrain. Then comes the paint, a mix of earthy browns, carefully layered to bring out the rugged edges. Of course, no forest floor is complete without grass, so I break out my gadget again. A layer of PVA glue, a flick of the machine, and voila! Lush greenery begins to sprout under his feet. By this point, I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. I came ready for this project, and it's all coming together. Finally, there's one last detail to figure out. There are these things, I don't know what to call them. Let's just say they're the bits that connect Momo's feet to his base. And once everything is connected, we are done. That wraps up today's journey. This is usually the part where I say, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe, but you probably saw that coming, didn't you? So yeah, let's keep it simple. My name's Steve, and I make the coolest things with paper. If you want to check out more of my previous creations, the ones that got me to this point, just click on one of the videos floating around here, left or right, your choice. Trust me, they're worth a watch. And as always, thanks for joining me on this wild ride of creativity. Until next time, cheers.